Hello and welcome to this video where we've come into encapsulation and private attributes and private methods. So this is really interesting, and it's interesting in a way that one main pillar in object-oriented programming is that you need to hide the implementation and just have an interface that you want the other people using. You or other parts of the program using your class should just have a small interface to work with. It doesn't need to know the implementation details, and that's the idea with encapsulation. So you want to hide information to just have the internal state is not interesting for outside to know. However, in Python, something very interesting is that everything is public, even if you cannot really create private attributes, you cannot create private methods. Instead, you need to use something called private by convention. So you use underscore prefix before the attribute name, before the method name, so that the other Python developers will know that this is private by convention, so they won't use it. So that's the idea. However, if they want, or if you want, you can access underscore private methods because they are not private. Hope that was clear. So let's go into Visual Studio Code to work with encapsulation. So here I am in Visual Studio Code, and it's a continuation from the last lecture. We work in the same folder here. Okay, so encapsulation. Let's create a class. Patient, def under init, self, name, diagnosis. Self dot underscore name equals name. Self dot. We can start here actually. We can also do wrapper, left under wrapper, self, return f string, patient, self dot underscore name. So remember that private variables or private by convention can be accessed within the class, and that is okay. So it shouldn't be accessed outside of the class, but within the class, it's for its internal state, so you can use it. Okay, we can start with this one, and then we can say patient1 equals patient Gore board. I don't know why I choose this name, but let's go with that. Migraine patient1, and you can see patient Gore board. So remember that we get patient Gore board because of this wrapper that defines this under name. So we cannot, patient1 name doesn't exist because we haven't defined it. However, patient1 dot underscore name, it exists. So you can see Gore board. And also, it's also possible to do this. Patient1 dot underscore name equals Bella. And now patient1 is patient Bella. So it's possible to do that, but don't do this because we shouldn't access the underscore. We shouldn't access attributes that are private by convention. Okay, so however, let's try another thing. Copy this one. And let's say diagnosis, self dot underscore underscore diagnosis equals diagnosis. So this is something called name mangling. Let's see, you can say patient diagnosis like this. Let's see, self dot underscore diagnosis. So that is fine still. So if I do patient2 equals patient Anna, let's say you have a headache, patient2. Okay, we get Anna and we get headache, right? And this is no problems because we look for this underscore diagnosis and it's inside of this class, right? However, when I want to access it from outside, let's look what happens. Patient 2 dot diagnosis. It doesn't exist. Object has no attribute underscore diagnosis. Okay, then you might think, we solved it. We have a patient, we have an attribute that is private, but that is not true because we can get it using this. Let me be a little bit tricky now. Patient 2 dot, let's see, dot dunderdict. So the dunderdict is a dunder method that gives, or dunder attribute, which has, it's the dictionary of my instance basically, and says all the attributes that we have. So we have underscore name is Anna, underscore patient underscore diagnosis is headache. So that means I can still do this. Patient 2 dot underscore patient underscore diagnosis, and I still get headache. Okay, so as you can see, this is something called name mangling. So it changes the name so that you cannot access it using the original name. Okay, but however, you can choose to use the first one with 1 underscore or using this with 2 underscores, but be consistent. In many cases, it's very common that you use with 1 underscore. And I usually use 1 underscore as well, or to denote private attributes. Okay, let's create this class. Old coin stash. Okay, if you've seen the Python convention video, this is Pascal case. So you see each first character for each word is capital letters and the rest are lowercase. Self.owner equals owner. Self.underscore $6, so this is money. Self.underscore billing equals 0. So these are just the old Viking money. Okay, so I created this old coin stash, and then we can just create like stash 1 equals old coin stash of Ragnar. And we can have stash 1. Right now you see we have default dunder wrapper. So let's create our dunder wrapper, def dunder wrapper. And we want to return f string old coin stash owner equals to self.owner, like this. Owner equals Ragnar. So we will create this class slowly. So we'll create it while we test it out manually. So what else do we need? We do need to be able to deposit our money. So def deposit self, comma, riksdaler, billing. So here we can do some, let's see, some validation before we actually add it. So basically what we want to do is self.underscore riksdaler plus equals riksdaler, right? And self.underscore billing plus equals billing. This is what we want to do. But what happens if someone adds a negative number or some value that is super strange, right? So let's do like this. So if riksdaler less than equals 0 or billing less than equals 0, then we raise a value error. So f string, you try to deposit, let's see, riksdaler and billing. they have to be positive. Okay? So this means that when I run this, for example, we do stash 1 dot deposit -5, and we get this error, type error, old coin stash dot deposit, right? Missing 1 required position. This is a type error, not a value error. Let's see, 2, and you can see you try to deposit -5. So this is value error. So try accept value error as E, print E. Okay. And I suggest it's good that you test it out each time you create something. So I copy this one and test out. For example, I have 0 here and I have -2 here, and we get an error. Now I will make something that should pass. Deposit 2 and 0. Value error. You try to deposit 0 $. Oh, you cannot deposit. They have to be positive. Then we get an error here. Actually, I want this. I don't. So it's okay to deposit 0, because maybe I just deposit twiddling. I don't deposit any $. Okay, run this one, run this one. Yes. So as you can see, by testing it out, we found this bug. So it's important to test out your code. And right now we're doing manual testing. We'll come into unit testing in a few lectures in the future. Yes. So then we have the deposit, and we can do, actually I won't just, I will, because the idea is similar. So I'll just copy this one. I won't type everything out. So here is withdraw and check balance. And let me just give them right indentation. So basically here, the withdraw, you do the similar thing, but you take minus equal, and then check balance is basically you check how much you have. So as you can see, the interesting part is here that you can deposit and you can withdraw. And then finally, when you want to look into how much money you have, I expose this method. So this is my interface to the outside world, basically. So this is what other developers or me or other parts of the code can access when they're using this old coin stash. They shouldn't access this _$, which is private, right? So I run this again, run this, and then I can do like this, stash1 dot deposit n, 0. And then I actually could have made it the 0 by default. 1 dot check balance, right? And you can see, yeah, $10 2 quilling. Okay. Yes, so in this video we've gone through encapsulation in object-oriented programming and gone through 2 examples for that. And we tested out how to make private by convention and made private using 2 underscores to make it with name mangling. But as you can see, that is not private either in Python. Instead, you can get past it by finding out what the name is. So it's underscore and then the class name underscore the method or the attribute name. But the point with encapsulation is that you're hiding information, you're hiding details, and you're exposing just the things that you want to expose to the outside world. So in this way, it's much cleaner for other parts of the code to know exactly what they can access or what they can't access. So I hope you found this lecture valuable, and make sure to commit and push your code, and then see you in the next one. Bye.